went to the Tower of London to see the ceramic poppies. There were more than 800,000 of them put in place to mark the centenary of the outbreak of the First World War.
2 years on, we're marking the Battle of the Somme, one of the bloodiest conflicts of the entire war. 131 of the victims were from Peterborough, and at the Queensgate Shopping Centre, every one of them is now remembered with a homemade poppy. Emma Ball was there for a special ceremony.
It's called A Sky of Poppies, commemorating 1,000 lives, marking the sacrifice made by those from the city and beyond. Today, a chance to remember the three Rhodes brothers.
Albert Rhodes. George Rhodes.
Albert was 21 years old and George 23 when they were killed in the Battle of the Somme. Brother Percy died later in 1917 at just 20 years old. Remembered by their great niece.
I went and made one poppy for each of them, and then went back with daughters and granddaughter and we made some more poppies, and now it looks amazing. We were just one family and 131 in our city, but it affected cities all over Britain the same way.
More than 1,000 poppies have been created by hundreds of people from across Peterborough over the past few months. Each commemorates someone wounded, captured or killed during the Battle of the Somme from all sides. It's hoped the poppies will help people understand how much the men gave for their country.
It's important to remember the sacrifice that these men made for us so that our lives are as they are today. They're all named around here, and I've put poppies on the graves of some of these men, and I know where they lived, I know their family. It makes it real, and when you involve people in an art project like this, it becomes real for them too, which is really important. It's not a name on a stone.
When I think of all the lives that were lost, and all the families that were affected through that loss, this will get people to think about this commemoration, which I think should happen after 100 years after the Somme.
Samuel Yerrill.
Samuel Yerrill was my great uncle. I found out his story. I discovered that Sam had been blown up and wounded in no man's land, and an officer jumped out of trenches to try and rescue him. When he got to Sam, just he lifted him up, a German sniper fired, killed them both, and they buried them both on the battlefield.
The sky here will be filled with poppies until November, marking 100 years since the historic end of the Battle of the Somme. Emma Ball, BBC LookEast, Peterborough.